Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Nathan's Next Chapter, where we take you behind the scene of what is truly like navigating life with cerebral palsy, one chapter at a time. I am your host, Christine Staple Ebanks. I'm an author. I'm Nathan's mama and your resident special needs mama bear. And I'm going to be talking about that some more later on. But for those who may not know, Nathan is my son. He's my bambino, and he lives with cerebral palsy, which is a disability that affects every area of development, including walking, talking, independent living, and so much more. So in today's episode, we're going to be looking into a rite of passage that is very common in Western societies like North America. And that rite of passage means so much to our young people. I mean, it's a kind of a live or die kind of a moment. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about prom. Yes, not just any prom, but the senior prom, which is a rite of passage that transition young people from being a child in an educational institution to an adult in another new season as Nathan prepares to transition from childhood, or we call high school life, to adulthood. There are all of these processes that needs to happen and all of these things that has to happen. Some of them would have had to start 2-3 years ago to put things in place to get him to this point. And that's one of the reasons that we do this feature, because for many of us as special needs moms and dads and guardians and families, we are left to figure all of this out on our own. And it is when you come to a stage, like when your child graduates, that you ask what next, except that in order to transition them to their what next, this process would have had to start some 4 or 5 years ago. So Nathan is 20 and he is an adult, right? So yes, legally that's true. But in the United States, the law provides for what they call special education services through the Department of Education for students with disabilities from 3 to 21. So while they officially complete their high school years at 18, and Nathan did that 2 years ago with a lot of fanfare, they get to stay another 3 years dependent on when you're born in the year. So for Nathan, he's born in May, so he turns 21 in May. But if he would have been born in August or September, where he would have turned 21 after the start of the new school year, then he would have gotten to stay an additional year. But because he's born in May, he only got 2 years. And this 2 years is called a transitioning program. They call it Super Senior, and it is where they learn essential life skills. They learn job readiness, because many individuals with disabilities are able to hold jobs, and they learn to live meaningfully and in their community as independent as possible, because the big push for individuals with disabilities is agency. And so that's where they learn skills like how to cook and how, to do laundry, and how to, help with some independence, like helping to dress themselves and so on. And so as we are going through this chapter, we are actually chronicling that process in the last 6 months of Nathan's high school career with us. And it brings us all of these really great moments, and it's a milestone and one that fills my heart with joy. So as we talk about the senior prom, what does that really mean? So as I said before, in Western culture, the prom is a rite of passage for youth transitioning to the other stage of life. It's like a big dance. It's a social event. It's where the graduates to be, or we say the graduands, because they've not yet graduated, are celebrated. It is about just celebrating the passage that they have had throughout their high school career. And of course, it's a mark of the transition from now being a child, because when you're high school, even though you may be 18, or in Nathan's case, 20, he's still considered a child, but it's a celebration of independence, identity, shared memory. And, in a way, a lot of these rituals like graduation, I always get so sad because I know that all of these individuals that our children travel with, as they've been traveling through their high school careers, that they may never see them again. And I'm always filled with sadness for that. But in the case of Nathan, because I do understand as well that it is so difficult for individuals with disabilities to socialize and so on, the idea of them being able to celebrate in this way is just absolutely remarkable. And so the prom can feel out of reach sometimes. And when he was in the general high school setting, it was more difficult for him to participate in that. And so we never sent him because who wants to go to the prom with their parents? And especially when he's in a general high school, so the majority of students don't have a disability. So we didn't feel it was appropriate for him. But at the school that he's at now, it's a special school for individuals with special needs. And so everybody had their parents there with them. And so accessibility was not an issue. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful occasion. And you would have seen some of the pictures in the opening montage. And so we're going to get into the prom preparation right now. So why was Nathan's prom such a big deal? Not just because it was happening, but because it was happening for him, because he got to have a typical experience, and they're not very often for our special needs kiddos. So in a way that made him feel seen, it made him feel included, it made him feel celebration. It made him feel celebrated, and it also gave him a sense of belonging. So where do we start with prom? We start by finding the perfect outfit. So that was quite a drama for us because Nathan was in the hospital for 2 of the weeks. After the prom date was provided, he was in hospital for 2 of the weeks. And so the focus was on that medical side. So then he got out of the hospital and I realized, oh my gosh, we have a week and a half to prom. So what do I do? So I went to my usual shopping place, that shall remain nameless right now. And with the help of his older brother, because I don't know anything obviously about young people styling these days, according to my children. And his older brother helped to pick out some very chic outfit. And so you'll see outfit number 1. And so that was so gorgeous, but the price also was gorgeous. And it was also a one-wear. So we said no to that one. And so we went through the selection and we found outfit number 2. And outfit number 2 was just splendid. It was the right color for him. Wouldn't you agree? Take a look at it. It was the right color for him, and we ordered it. And in ordering the outfit, now I had to order the shirt to go with the outfit, and I ordered a bow tie to go with the outfit, not knowing that the shirt came with its own tie. But from the model of the suit, when I looked at it, it was already ensembled together. And so I liked how it looked. And so I ordered the shirt and I ordered a red bow tie to go with it. The shirt arrived. The prom was a Saturday. The shirt arrived on the Tuesday, which was good. The suit was supposed to arrive on the Thursday. The bow tie arrived first. And then on the Thursday, I got a notice that the suit will arrive on the Sunday. And the prom was Saturday. Plus the prom was in the daytime. It was 11 to 3. So we had to do a quick shopping. So Dad and I jumped in the car and we went down to one of the department stores and we took a look at what was out there, and we had to mix and match. And so Nathan had this beautiful vest that he had used in the family picture. If you look behind me, you'll see him in the vest in the family picture. And we then had to find the suit. And we found the jacket because unfortunately we couldn't find a suit ensemble together. So we found the jacket, and then we found the pants and we matched the pants, and then we got home. And this was now, because this was Friday in the day, and we got home only to realize that the pants was too large for him. Because even though the waist, Nathan has like a 26 waist, but Nathan is a skinny mini, as you know. So even though the pants was 30 slim, When we opened it, it was certainly not slimmed. It was mislabeled. And yes, I know we should have checked that before we left, but I guess in the rush with everything, we forget that. So thankfully, he had a nice suit, black pants from the picture behind. So we were able to put his ensemble together. And so that is how we had his outfit. We arrived on the day of the banquet. Nathan was very excited, could not sleep the night before. And even though he was still having some tummy issues, he was so awake for this event, because I guess they really big it up at school and they all talk about it all the time. And so everybody was excited, and that excitement came home with us. And so we got up the day. And I need to tell you that dressing Nathan is a two-man job on an ordinary occasion, because there's so many, he needs help all the way. And sometimes in him trying to help you, his body, his tone kicks in. And so you're trying to put something in this arm, but his whole body goes like this. And so you have to now help calm him down, get his head back, because he has a way of throwing his head behind him. And so it needs somebody who can be there to keep his head forward. And so it takes two of us to dress him. So on the day, Ryan, his big brother, helped out to dress him, and Dad dressed him, saying, Mommy could put on her makeup and get her doll on, because I'm going there. And since I'm kind of there as this date, you have to make sure, that you represent, right? And so we got dressed and we drove to the venue. And from we arrived, I was like, oh my gosh, it was a beautiful hotel, the Pine Manor. I'm giving them advertising here, but it was a beautiful hotel, a beautiful space. We got red carpet treatment, because the valets were at the door, and you drive right up to the entrance, and because you have to let down the ramp for him to get out, and the valet was at the door, and that both doors swung open with beautiful smile welcoming you to the event. And then we walked down this beautiful hallway, well lit, and we went into this room, and oh my gosh, it was just amazing. At the entrance of the room was the picture of the graduates on the right at the entrance, so that people could see who they are. And then the room was nicely laid out, and there was somebody who was there, to tell us which table that we were at. And, we went over to our table, and his teachers came over, and one of his teachers said, oh, Nathan, I thought I was going to be the sharpest dressed one here, but you outdressed me. Look at that beautiful bow tie. And of course, Nathan just sat down there like a king's pajama, just looking around, not really engaging with anybody, because that's how he is. He takes everything in and then he processes it after. And so he's just looking around, and I could just tell how engaged he was. But what was a bigger part for me? It was seeing so many other people who looked like him. All of his life, I had pushed for inclusion, because I thought that that was the best system for him, but it was actually the best system for me, because it helped me not feel a lot of his specialness when he goes to a mainstream school. But it has been a challenge in Jamaica and in the United States to educate him in a mainstream school, because while cognitively, yes, he can do a lot of the work, a lot of the modification that is required to support him isn't available in the mainstream school. And also on the other side, in terms of his healthcare needs, a lot of the support, the clinical support and knowledge that is necessary to support him isn't available in the mainstream school. And so going to this school that is a special education school, where all the students look like him, all the students had some level of developmental disability, but to see how joyful they were when they saw each other, how their faces lit up, when they saw each other, to see that, again, Nathan is Mr. Popularity. Wherever he goes is Mr. Popularity. And just to see them, it was so amazing. The food was good, which was quite surprising for us, because a lot of time hotels food not that great, but the food was quite tasty. And of course, Nathan was having some stomach issues, so we had kind of been restricting what we gave him. And so that was the first time that he was getting back. And man, oh man, you see the plate? He just lopped it all off. He wanted seconds and thirds and so on. But of course, we had to manage that, because we didn't want him to have any gastro issues at that. And then they opened the dance floor, and oh my gosh, the music was from my era, which was quite nice because I don't understand a lot of the younger music today. But they had a nice mix, and they had some Spanish music, and they had some reggae music, soft reggae, and so it was a beautiful mix. And some people were on the dance floor. The people who were more ambulatory, as you could see from the video, they were on the dance floor. And then, of course, my hubby Bobby Robert went on the dance floor with Nathan, and then they did their stuff, their smooth dancing in the wheelchair. And we saw other people just sitting back and watching, and then, as if other people said, oh yeah, that's a great thing. So after a while, the dance floor was full of everybody that was there, and they're doing their smooth dancing and so on. And the afternoon moved in a beautiful way. People were relating. One parent came up to ask about Nathan's wheelchair, to say she liked his wheelchair, and so I was able to connect her to the wheelchair provider that we use and so on. And then at the end, the principal went up, and she spoke a little bit. She thanked her brother for being there, and we found out that since COVID, they had not had another prom. So this was actually the first prom in 5 years. So a lot of the alumni from the school were also present, and they were recognized, the ones who never got a chance to have a prom because of the pandemic. And so they were recognized, and then the graduates got to do a walk down the hall, and you will see that, as you see that going there in the video, they got to do a walk down the hall. And then the most beautiful thing happened. The principal instructed everyone to form a circle around the graduates. And, the song, one of my favorite songs, I'll be forevermore, I'll be and forevermore. That's what friends are for, right? That's a song. And so that was playing, and we all were just holding hands around the graduates, and they just sat in the middle like a cat's pajama. And, we came to the end of a beautiful, beautiful day, a beautiful rite of passage, a beautiful event. And I just want to just really thank the Lakeview family for just, the PTA worked very hard to bring the event together. And I just want to thank them for a beautiful day, beautiful event, beautiful celebration, but also just wonderful, wonderful memories. Thank you so much, Lakeview staff. Also, for Nathan, it was just such a wonderful moment. He started smiling from the moment he arrived until the moment he left. Of course, the smile was bigger when it was food time, and it was even larger when it was dessert, and the cake was so yummy. And he had such a great time, and he is still waking up a week later almost. He's still waking up in the night, laughing and pointing, because he's still living that moment. And so we're really grateful for this opportunity for him and for this rite of passage. And as a mama bear, I am even more grateful to see my child enjoying something that is a ritual, an important event, life event for his peers without disabilities, because it helps to normalize his experience a lot. And so milestones like this help me to see how far we've come. Because when Nathan was given to us at birth, and he was so sick because he had a congenital diaphragmatic hernia that required surgery to repair it, he was so sick that the surgeon who worked with him in Jamaica, we called her Dr. Doom, said that every time I talked to her about him, she would say, if this child survived infancy, if this child survived infancy. And here it is that he has not just survived infancy, but he is now 2 years into his adulthood. And so it is so important. What is it? It's kind of like a goalpost. It is kind of like, I won't call it a monument because he's not dead, but it is such an important time for us as a family to see him get to this important milestone. And I want to just publicly thank everybody, all the teachers who've been part of his journey from the beginning until now, because I've come to realize that a lot of the missteps or a lot of the things that wasn't done, it wasn't done because people didn't like him. It was done because people didn't know. And I've seen how Nathan has taught the system and how the system has grown around him. So if you're a parent watching this and wondering if your child will get their special night, I see you. I've been you, and I promise you, your chapter is still being written. Never, ever, ever write anything off on your child. Continue to write the chapter and just learn how to accommodate them where they are in order to help them live that chapter. So, as we round out this episode of Nathan's Next Chapter, prom event or prom night, whichever one is better, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment below and tell us, what was your prom like? Or what milestones are you proud of in your family's journey? So until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and keep showing up. I'm Christine Stapley Banks, the Special Needs Mama Bear, and I look forward